Someone said something to me a very long time ago that stuck with me. And it's easy to take offense to the comment or just simply put it in a catalog, put it away. But now, when I evaluate various things that are happening, that remark has resurfaced. And it has me questioning whether the image I had of myself, the image I have of myself, whether it was steeped in fantasy. Maybe I thought I was more skilled, or smarter, or talented than I really am. And I can evaluate or reflect on various things that I've done since that point, professionally and personally. And maybe that individual was right. Maybe they saw something way back when that I did not see. Maybe I was just too young to realize it. And now I'm facing it head on. And where I see it surface the most are both in a professional context and a personal context. But on the personal front, when reflecting on relationships and the course those relationships have taken, and how I've been treated, or conflicts that have arisen, or misunderstandings, or just relationships that have faded, either through people going their different directions or circumstantial, in terms of maybe a conflict with someone and the relationship is no longer viable. And whether that was agreed upon or whether that is just the way it goes. And one of the things I had to question is whether people actually respect me. And the reason for the question is because I've seen a pattern over the course of my life in various phases where the outcomes have been consistent, whether it's family or friends or a partner. And going back to the remark that was made several years ago, maybe the problem isn't them, those that I've had failed relationships with. Maybe it's me, because if it's happening consistently and if there's a pattern, it's clearly me. Or maybe there's a vulnerability that people see in me and believe is ripe for exploitation. I say I have big teeth and I smile a lot, and so maybe there's something about that makes people think I'm goofy, unintelligent, weak. I don't know. I don't know how they perceive it. But what I do know is that the relationships were real. I don't invest my time in insincere relationships with people, but somehow these relationships end in some of the most mystifying ways. What you thought the person was, the bond that you shared, and it just vanishes, and you can't help but question, was there ever any regard for me, or only as it served that individual? And then there are even the extension to those situations. I've had people's children be blatantly disrespectful toward me. It makes sense. If their own parent is not respectful toward me, why would they be respectful toward me? And I'm talking blatant examples, threats of harm, these sorts of things. And it's really difficult to understand. And even if differences occur, and they do occur, is 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 there not a baseline, even when people have differences, to still honor the person to some level, but to be fair, because some people might say, well, you don't honor the other person. Fair. When crossed, it can get pretty nasty. It can get pretty intense. And so that's fair. So it's okay in the grand scheme of things, because life goes on. You can't stop living. You can't hold any grudges. And I had to learn that. You have to make peace with it and move on. And on the other side of it is other people come along. And it's not that we make people replaceable like objects or material things, but good people come along. And you don't stop trying. You hold on to those good things. I think if anything, you try to be better. But even with that, I still have big teeth and I smile a lot. And so perhaps it'll just be an ongoing cycle for as long as I'm here. That's all.